Thank you all for joining this class. I am Professor Kringle and I will be your instructor. I made a list of notes for this video which I have prepared for you, and this is my second time checking it. I will be checking it periodically throughout the video to make sure that I stay on point. I believe very firmly in lists, and I think you should too. Be they to-do lists or lists of notes or any other kind of list you may have. Lists are very good, but they are best when they are checked at least twice. So, our first lesson will be called Superheroes, Super Citizens. Your participation and commitment here will reflect on how you act throughout the rest of this course and throughout your career as a superhero. The foundation for success is in your citizenship. Now, the first point, if I have it in my list, is appearance. Your appearance is the first thing that people will judge you by. We'll look at a couple of examples. Let's see. So we have this image here. Consider this hero. What comes to mind? What does his appearance make you think? All right, we'll move on to the next one now. Now this picture. Note the contrast. Both are heroes, but their images are totally different. Your appearance should match your overall theme and style, as so noted here. All right, now we're back to looking at me again because I am the perfect example of a hero. Let's see, the next point on my list. Now, because your appearance is the first impression people have of you, make sure that it is not overly scary or inappropriate. You don't want to look like a villain. Take this fellow, for example. You see that? Obviously a villain. Just look at him. The second point of being a super citizen is not causing excessive or unnecessary property damage. Let's look at a picture for that. Okay, so we can see from this picture that there is a little bit of damage taking place here. So I would like you to analyze this image. What sticks out to you? What could or should he have done differently? You will often have to deal with civilians being stupid, so you will need to be the smart one. All right, now back to me. The hero in this picture is capable of shooting webs from his wrists and, swinging with them and a whole bunch of things. He could practically fly in and grab the kid. What do you think he should have done? You see, he could have swung in to grab the child. He could have used his webs to pull the child out, but rather than that, he simply caused immense property damage and also personal injury to several people. Those people didn't need to be injured, and that bus did not need to be destroyed. Another aspect of this property damage point is location. You'll often notice when watching heroes work that they tend to fight their adversary in the middle of a very populated area. This should not be done. If at all possible, you need to take the fight away from population and to a remote location. This way, there will be less property damage and damage to individuals, which we would call harm or injury. I'm sorry, I'm very absent-minded and I forget things. That's the whole reason I make lists. It was my wife's idea. But let's see. Oh yes, and as part of the location, we've learned from past experience that you really don't want another hero coming after you for destroying a city. You may think that there could even be just a 1% chance that you're evil, and that would mean that he'd have to destroy you, and you just don't want that, especially because that's not how math works. Like I said, you need to be smart. Let's see. So for this thing with how you could save people, I'd like you to picture that image again of Spider-Man saving the boy at the bus, and I'd like you to brainstorm at least 5 applications for your abilities that you have not thought of before. bring a list to class, and if you need ideas, the online textbook should give some to you. We have categories for every type of power people have. Some people fit into multiple categories and some only fit into one. You'll be able to get some suggestions there, but I'd like you to bring at least 5. I'd like you to brainstorm exactly how you could have saved that boy without causing damage, at least 5 ways. Let's see, the third and final point for this discussion is how you approach dealing with a villain, or a scenario. You need to gather information before going in. Don't just go in fighting. I know it's your impulse to go in guns blazing, but you shouldn't. Let's see, most of the villains you will deal with will be human, or they could be some form of augmented or superpowered human, but for the most part they will be some form of human. Most will have some kind of backstory that you can draw from. Make sure to do research before going in. Learn what you can about them. If possible, try to talk them down. Many of these backstories will be tragic, and you might be able to sympathize with them. That does not mean what they are doing is justified, but if you can convince them that they are not justified, that may diffuse the situation. Try to talk them down, but always be on your guard. Remember, they are villains. Let's see, heroes today focus too much on just pounding the villains to a pulp, which is teaching children that violence is always the answer. Violence may be the first resort of a villain, but it should be your last resort. When violence is necessary, exploit their weaknesses. This comes from the previous research and study we talked about. You need to know how to defeat them quickly and efficiently. This is not saying that you need to kill all of your enemies, but it is saying you need to incapacitate them that the authorities may come in and remove them from the premises. Remember to always cooperate fully with the Justice Department. However, if they do ask for your secret identity and you are not willing to divulge that, you do not have to. Governments may say otherwise, but the fact of the matter is your identity is yours alone. Let's see, just remember this. Don't be dramatic, be efficient. Drama is not what we need. Heroes need to do the good work quickly. We'll go into more depth in all these points in class. Please be sure to do the things I've asked you to in this video and be prepared to discuss. Remember, superhero, super citizen. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and do all those other things that people on YouTube like you to do. Also, I'd like you to leave a comment below about other ways that you think superheroes can be super citizens. We can all improve. Merry today to all, and to all a good life. I promise I'm smiling.